Good day YouTube. Today I wish to talk about something that I came across in a Reddit post talking about this new thing that Zos is introducing in the next update, the supposed quality of life upgrade. They are going to make it impossible for us to leave an instance while we're in combat mode. Meaning to say, if you're in a dungeon, you're in a trial, and you're currently stuck in a combat mode, an NPC is attacking you, you would not be able to leave the dungeon. So this has some rather serious and disturbing implications. Firstly, I'd like to talk about it from a PvP point of view. I play primarily in Imperial City, as you would have known by now, and this is going to be a huge problem if I'm not able to exit Imperial City and port to Cyrodiil while I'm in combat. Obviously, I will be carrying Telva, and there will be instances where the amount of Telva I carry would be huge, and it will be hell of annoying if I'm stuck in combat because some NPC far away couldn't go back to where it originally is, and I'm not able to port out to Cyrodiil, and then I get ambushed halfway by somebody from Ebonheart or Daggerfall. So this is something that's going to be a little bit game changing for me. We all know that there are a lot of AI pathing problems in ESO. Many times in Imperial City I find that I am in combat mode even though I'm not supposed to be in combat mode. I'm sure this is familiar. Basically, some NPC decide to follow you, and up to a certain point they give up and they couldn't go back to where they originally are. So as I leave from one section of the Imperial City to the next, I am still in combat mode and I cannot ride my horse. So if Zos is not going to be fixing problems like this, and they want to be introducing supposedly quality of life upgrades like not being able to leave an instance while you're in combat, I think this is going to create a lot more problems than it's going to solve. So I came across the forums, and I think I went through some of the comments that people have written about this. So far, people are cautious about making comments about this particular update because I think it's not really been confirmed. It is a kind of as far as I know situation. So we have to wait for this thing to go to PTS before we can double check, double confirm, and maybe give some feedback to Zos. So a comment that I came across was with regards to a trial. Now this guy has written that this is a bad idea, causing more problems than it's worth, something that I've said earlier. So that he has gotten into situations in trials where his team is already wiped, but they haven't left combat, which makes it impossible for them to revive. Yeah, because you're in combat mode, you can't revive everybody, right? After everybody has died. So the only solution is to have the team members leave the instance one by one until the problem is solved. And therefore, this solution can no longer be applicable in the next patch if this particular change goes through. Now in another post, the same forum member also went on to make another point. I read, "I've been in too many situations where something would happen, like a group member getting kicked off a cliff or even out of the map during a boss fight. Being out of reach, couldn't be resurrected. Of course, during a boss fight, they can't resurrect themselves, nor even respawn at shrines and be brought back in. It's been really useful to have this available for those situations." This referring to the ability to leave the instance and come back, right, to rejoin groupmates. I continue. "Even though it takes a couple of load screens, they can get back to the fight, and if we can avoid finishing off the boss before they get back in, even be able to loot the body." So it's pretty amazing how or why Zos would, make changes like this that perhaps satisfy that 1 to 2% of players who wants to be elite, but yet ignore the remaining 99% of us who just wants to have a normal playing time. Me not being able to port to Cyrodiil will be quite game breaking for my Imperial City experience. Right, I would be stuck in combat mode, not being able to get out of it, not being able to sneak. My only option would really be to try to get to a safe balcony and to wait. Alternatively, I can press alternate F4 and just quit. But I've tried that before, and if you do that and quit in the middle of the combat, there is a high chance that you come back dead and have to be revived, which defeats the point. That means half of my Telva would be gone. So that kind of defeats the purpose. Other occasions I've tried that, I came back alive, I started the game in the middle of Imperial City, and so it's pretty random. It's not something that I would really want to try. I would prefer to find a safe spot and then attempt to wait until my combat mode disappears, if it ever does, and then port to Cyrodiil. At this point, maybe it's a little bit too early to jump the gun and make too much of a judgment call on this. We really have to wait to see what the next patch really have to offer. Have a try at the PTS and see what changes work and what doesn't. We can have a clearer picture probably by then. Right now it's just a little bit jumping off the gun, having a look through the crystal ball to see what lies ahead. Feeling a little bit worried about this, I think. So do share your thoughts and your comments. They are most welcome, especially from the PvE community. I would like to hear what you guys have to say about your experiences in dungeons and trials where the ability to leave an instance sometimes can be the only solution you have to have a continuing good experience, right? Okay, so leave your thoughts below. This is me signing out. See you in Tamriel.